Last week, the state of California sued Activision Blizzard. The lawsuit alleges that one of the biggest gaming publishers in the world is discriminating against the women who work there, paying them less than men and subjecting them to sexual harassment. This is a massive lawsuit that's honestly pretty hard to read at times. So I'm gonna break down what's being alleged here and what happens next. Alright folks, before we get into this video, I just want to give you all a content warning up front that this video is going to get into some pretty disturbing allegations. This lawsuit includes graphic allegations of sexual harassment, sexual assault, and suicide. If these topics trigger any sort of negative response for you, you understandably do not have to keep watching. So, on July 20th, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, or the DFEH, sued Activision Blizzard. The lawsuit alleges that Activision Blizzard allowed, or in some cases even encouraged, a culture to form where sexual harassment and sexual assault occurred at work, on top of discrimination against women with regards to fair pay, opportunities, and firing. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier first broke the story, but it's clear from reading the lawsuit that the state of California has been looking into Activision Blizzard for a very long time. The lawsuit states that the DFEH has been looking into Blizzard Entertainment since October 12, 2018. They launched a 2-year investigation that eventually brought in the Activision side of the company as well. The DFEH lists Activision Blizzard, Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Publishing, and 10 unnamed John Does as their defendants. Essentially, the DFEH believes that these companies and these 10 unnamed defendants are ultimately responsible for the harassment and discrimination that the women who worked at Activision and Blizzard faced. So let's get into those allegations. The first is that women who worked at Activision Blizzard were discriminated against with regards to equal pay, equal opportunities, retaliation, and many other aspects of the job. The DFEH lists multiple examples from their investigation. One woman alleges that she was assigned a lower level role and that she was denied equal pay to her male colleagues. When she asked for a promotion, she was allegedly told to wait her turn, while the men who were hired after her were promoted before she was. Another woman alleges that she was passed over for promotion in favor of men who were friends with her unit head. The investigation found that one supervisor allegedly delegated all of his new responsibilities to women, and then he just played Call of Duty all day. That example also includes a note that some supervisors allegedly wouldn't talk to women at all and would only get their information from male subordinates. The DFEH's investigation also found that women were allegedly paid less than men in Activision Blizzard starting from the moment they were hired. Women hired by Activision Blizzard were allegedly paid lower starting salaries, given less lucrative job assignments, and less opportunities than their male counterparts. Promotions also apparently favored men, with women receiving smaller raises and being offered less stock and incentive pay. The lawsuit states that women were overwhelmingly put into lower positions on the Activision Blizzard hierarchy, that they were paid less, and that they had to work harder than their male counterparts to earn their promotions. And sometimes, they didn't even get those promotions at all. The lawsuit includes allegations from a woman who said she was passed up for a promotion because her manager didn't want to risk her getting pregnant and preferring being a mother to her job. Women were allegedly criticized for leaving work to pick up their kids from daycare and kicked out of lactation rooms so other people could have meetings in them. And according to the lawsuit, women of color faced even harsher discrimination at times. One woman of color alleges that it took her 2 years to be promoted to a full-time role at Activision Blizzard, while men hired after her were promoted much faster. Meanwhile, these men were allegedly just playing games on the job, while supervisors would check in on this woman if she did so much as take a break to go for a walk. One woman of color alleges that she asked for some time off, and in response was made to write a 1-page letter describing what she was going to do with that time off. She later quit. So allegedly, women were paid like shit and treated unfairly by their supervisors and male coworkers. But things got a lot worse. The second set of allegations in the lawsuit concerns sexual harassment. And again, things are gonna get really f***ed up here. The DFEH says that the women they spoke to likened working at Activision Blizzard to working at a frat house. They allege that there was a pattern of sexual harassment and assault, with men regularly hitting on women, making sexual comments and rape jokes, and groping them, all without serious repercussions. Women who worked on the World of Warcraft team allege that they were regularly the subject of rape jokes, which supervisors knew about and either didn't acknowledge or outright encouraged. The allegations include breasts being touched without consent, a male supervisor telling a subordinate to, quote, buy a prostitute when he gets in a bad mood, and cube crawls, which were allegedly what happened when men would get drunk and physically crawl through women's cubicles to engage in inappropriate behavior. The DFEH states that women working at Activision Blizzard had to constantly fend off sexual comments and harassment, while the men would come into work hungover. The DFEH brings forward the story of one woman who worked for Activision Blizzard who committed suicide while on a business trip after she was allegedly the target of sexual harassment at work. The DFEH says that some of her coworkers believe that other Activision Blizzard employees were passing around pictures of her vagina at a holiday party. She later killed herself on a business trip with a male supervisor who police found had brought a butt plug and lube on the trip. The DFEH states that complaints were made to the Human Resources Department and to Blizzard President J. Allen Brack, but there were few, if any, repercussions. In fact, the DFEH notes that an internal survey of Activision Blizzard employees found that they didn't have much trust for HR, allegedly because HR didn't have much sympathy for victims of sexual harassment and abuse. The DFEH notes that HR was allegedly close with alleged abusers, or that they otherwise didn't keep confidential complaints confidential, which led to the women who complained being retaliated against. This retaliation could take the form of reduced work assignments, being transferred to another unit, or outright firing. And speaking of Brack, he comes up a lot in this lawsuit, but there's two sections in particular that I want to talk about. The first is a story of a woman who spoke to J. Allen Brack in 2019 to tell him that people were leaving the company en masse because of the sexual harassment and assault. And the second is Brack's interactions with Alex Afrasiabi, the former senior creative director of World of Warcraft. According to the lawsuit, Afrasiabi was a known harasser at the company. During events like BlizzCon, Afrasiabi would allegedly hit on women, call women derogatory names, try to kiss them and touch them without their consent, and he allegedly did all of this in the view of his supervisors, who had to, quote, pull him off of women. These alleged actions led to his room at BlizzCon allegedly being nicknamed the Cosby Suite, after alleged rapist Bill Cosby. Note that the lawsuit says Crosby Suite and Bill Crosby, but I couldn't find any notoriously horrible Bill Crosbys online, so I'm gonna assume this one was a typo. But to return to Brack, the lawsuit notes that he had several conversations with Afrasiabi about his drinking and telling him he was getting, quote, too friendly with women. But the lawsuit states that these conversations didn't lead to much more than a slap on the wrist. Even after these conversations, Afrasiabi allegedly continued this behavior. Afrasiabi was very high up in Blizzard. He was one of the original members of the WoW team going all the way back to Vanilla in 2004. WoW fans noted that Afrasiabi changed his employment status on LinkedIn last year, quietly noting that he no longer worked for Blizzard. This happened without the sort of public announcement that many longtime Blizzard devs get when they leave the company. It's unclear if he was fired or if he quit, but these allegations certainly paint his departure in a different light. The lawsuit is seeking a ton of damages, though it doesn't list any specific figures. Mostly, the DFEH is looking for Activision Blizzard to pay out damages to the people affected, as well as relief, which can take the form of equal pay, incentive pay, benefits, and awards owed to the women who worked there. To be clear, I don't know whether or not Activision Blizzard is actually going to have to pay out these damages. What I do know is that the DFEH is a government organization accusing Activision Blizzard of breaking the law, so they're under a ton of pressure here. News about the lawsuit breaking led to a lot of people coming forward on social media. Some were sharing sympathy for the victims of harassment and assault, while others were former Activision Blizzard employees who shared their own stories of being harassed or assaulted, and more were former employees who stated that they'd witnessed those actions firsthand. On Reddit, a user named Empty Bobbin, who says she was a former WoW game master, wrote that she was harassed daily by her manager while she was pregnant, including being written up for going to the bathroom multiple times a day and being told that every day might be the day she'd be fired. On Twitter, former Blizzard producer Stephanie Krustick says that she was one of the women who was harassed by Afrasiabi at BlizzCon 2013. Also on Twitter, former Blizzard employee Cher Scarlett also backed up the allegations in the lawsuit. There are dozens more people coming forward now with their own stories of harassment and allegations about the culture at Blizzard, or stating that they'd witnessed these events. But these allegations are not new. Some people have been making these kinds of claims about Activision Blizzard for a long time. In 2016, the president of the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, Megan Scavio, tweeted that Afrasiabi called her derogatory names, which former WoW team member Jennifer Classing backed up on Twitter last week. Classing says that every female-identifying person on the WoW team was brought into a meeting with Brack the next day, who said that actions had been taken against Afrasiabi. But Classing notes that he remained the creative director of WoW for many years after, and was given further opportunities. And you can look back even further to find plenty of examples of Blizzard employees and even executives acting inappropriately in public. Here's Afrasiabi speaking at a BlizzCon panel in 2010, sitting alongside Brack and other higher-ups at Blizzard.
I love what you guys done with Little Crest. I love the fact that you have a lot of very strong female characters. However, I was wondering if we could have some that don't look like they've stepped out of Victoria's Secret's catalog.
What do you mean?
Wait.
Which catalog would you like them to step out of?
We feel you, and we want to vary our female characters, absolutely. So yeah, we'll pick different catalogs.
Once last week's news broke, the WoW forums were full of people saying they'd canceled their subscription and calling on others to do the same. As for what Activision Blizzard has to say about this, well, they're denying the allegations. In a statement provided to Polygon, they write, "The picture the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years, continuing since the initial investigation started, we've made significant changes to address company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams." Activision Blizzard's statement accuses the DFEH of painting an untrue or distorted view of events that happened at Blizzard headquarters. They also accused the DFEH of not participating in good faith negotiations before going forward to litigation. Notably, the lawsuit states that the DFEH had 3 mediation sessions with Activision Blizzard in July before the lawsuit was filed. Activision Blizzard finished a statement by writing, "We are confident in our ability to demonstrate our practices as an equal opportunity employer that fosters a supportive, diverse, and inclusive workplace for our people, and we are committed to continuing this effort in the years to come. It is a shame that the DFEH did not want to engage with us on what they thought they were seeing in their investigation." Strangely, the statement also includes a bizarre section where Activision Blizzard accuses the DFEH of overstepping their boundaries, and that this kind of unaccountable bureaucracy is leading companies to leave the state of California. On Friday, Axios reporter Megan Farrock-Manesh tweeted out an email to Activision staff by their executive VP of corporate affairs, Fran Townsend, in which Townsend doubled down on this messaging, calling the DFEH lawsuit a distorted and untrue picture of our company. Also on Friday, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier reported that Brack sent an email out to staff regarding the lawsuit. In the email, Brack calls the allegations in the lawsuit, quote, extremely troubling, and states that he has spent his entire career fighting against, quote, bro culture. Later that day, Kotaku's Ethan Gatch reported that some Blizzard employees did not necessarily believe Brack, and were disappointed not to see any plans to address the issues at the company. On Saturday, WoW's senior system designer Jeff Hamilton tweeted that almost no work is being done on WoW right now as a result of this lawsuit. On Sunday, Diablo co-creator Chris Metzen tweeted out a similar statement, saying that he was shocked and disgusted by what the lawsuit alleged, and that he was having trouble reconciling the Blizzard he knew with what had allegedly happened under his watch. Some have criticized these apologies for ringing hollow, because if what this lawsuit alleges is true, it would have been very difficult for these executives not to have known what was happening to the women who worked for them, and very easy for these men to have changed the corporate culture. And finally, on Monday, Polygon's Nicole Carpenter reported that over 800 former and current Blizzard employees signed a letter criticizing Activision Blizzard's response to the lawsuit. The letter states, "Our company executives have claimed that actions will be taken to protect us. But in the face of legal action and the troubling official responses that followed, we no longer trust that our leaders will place employee safety above their own interests." To claim that this is a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit while seeing so many current and former employees speak out about their own experiences regarding harassment and abuse is simply unacceptable. As Polygon reports, the DFEH was previously involved in a lawsuit against Riot in 2018, which came on the heels of a Kotaku investigation into Riot Games that found that women were being harassed and assaulted at work. In 2019, the Los Angeles Times reported that Riot had to pay a $10 million settlement to the women who worked at the company, in part due to the DFEH's lawsuit. And last year, stories broke from Ubisoft offices all around the world of women who were experiencing discrimination and sexual harassment at work. This is all to say that it's not the first time that a major game publisher has been accused of fostering a toxic workplace culture, and it's unlikely to be the last.